Okay, what we're doing, this is the boring part of the presentation. Yes, we're doing for a couple of years now this cooperation with the California State University in San Francisco. And we are crazy enough, let's put it that way, to say, or to try, how can design contribute to the solution of those 17 sustainable goals of the United Nations? We don't want it smaller. So I think the biggest challenges we could find, we try, how can speculative design give some hints and contributions to that? And yes, we are doing it for a couple of years now. International teams, yes. We got mobility programs running now at the moment. Let's see how long they run with the United States. You all know it's difficult situations. And yes, this is one of the reasons I'm here. We are planning expansions. We want to have more of those annoying students, more of international toasters, more of students who give us hell. Let's see how we can work together here. But yes, you all came for pictures and not for black screens. You came for pictures, I give you pictures. So this is one or two of the projects we did in the last time. So we invited Utopally. And following the idea, you all know the landlord's game. Probably you know it as Monopoly, which is a very, very weak version of the original game, which was invented to explain to kids how the renting system works, how exploiting the idea of rent is. And the students picked up the idea and said, okay, we imagine a world where rapidly changes had happened. Remember the CV 2070, the world is a different one. Explain that to kids. And how could we survive in different climate zones, in different other ideas. And this is a funny idea, the tsunami energy unit. This is not the jail. There's no jail in this game. Don't go to jail. It's not a card you can choose here, or pick. But you can join the tsunami energy unit. This is a funny idea. They raise energy out of the big waves. And we've got another project there who gets closer to that idea. So they picked up two projects and mixed up a bit. So this is the game, how it looks like. It was really fun to play it. So we had it in our annual exhibition at the university. And our students made a drinking game out of it very, very soon. So within an hour, everyone was really, really pissed because it was having a drink or running around the table when you missed something out there. I didn't see very much people running. So this is a funny thing. I very much like, even though those pictures are too ChatGPT-like. This was the idea of a world with no borders anymore. Still using an ID, but there are no countries anymore, and the possibility to migrate, to have a journey or whatever, are those philatro tokens. That means if you raise energy somewhere, if you do something positive in your society, you get those tokens instead of money. Which I thought is a very interesting idea, especially when it comes from Americans. Well, to say, when we're old enough, we would say, this is bloody anarchy. Throw away your passports. This could be straight off a punk rock song. And this is one of the features of speculative design. So if I would teach my students, okay, all the things about anarchy, and would give us all the Russians, they would say, oh no, the Americans even go away when you say socialism. Yeah? But they come back with those ideas. And I think this was very interesting to see Americans coming up with anarchic ideas without knowing that they are very anarchic. This is the world energy forces. Join the forces and they can have seed bombs. They really have bombs. So they turned into the whole military complex into something new. Following the idea that kids, probably kids of nowadays, they love to play with adventure things. They love to play former days with little soldiers, little toys, doing stuff like that, which are quite, I don't want to give my kids nowadays any little soldiers. Although I enjoyed them when I was young. Give them such a thing. Go in those climate niches, in those 90% habitats where humans can't live without equipment, and restore it, repair it. This is the idea from those global army. Oh yeah, of course we've got drones. And this is a drone, it comes from our Asian students who said, okay, we have to rethink the pharma industry. And we go back to traditional tea and roots medicine. And they said, okay, one of the problems is I can't get those teas in every place in the world. It's easier to get some pills there. So they invented this little drone, which I think is quite funny, and they actually really built one, a quite small one. No, it didn't flew. It just looked like it could be, which is fine enough for a... Shall I go back for the picture? I sent you the keynote anyway. And so they developed a whole business idea around those tea helicopters, vending machines, where the helicopter, the drone lands on there, replaces the medicine, and you can go on the vending machine, especially in areas where you can't see the doctor. Probably you ask the medicine man, and he gives you some teas or whatever, and this is probably the modern way of a medicine man. Here again, one of those tools we love to use is imagine newspapers from the future. And this could be a news magazine, so we got here those heroes who harvest energy from tsunamis. And this is I like this one very much. Let's waste energy. This year's energy ball ride is the biggest ever. So in this utopia, we raised so much green energy that we can celebrate these days, and we celebrate as we can waste the energy. So who can waste energy at the most? Who is the best energy waster? Imagine a future for that point on. Now we want to be energy savers, which is a quite negative future. What will be if we have so many green energy fostered that we can just throw it away, make fireworks, make whatever. You can do lots of silly things with energy. When you don't want to save it, you just burn it. Do something with it. Okay. Come on. There it is. This is another thing. Yeah, okay, you start with self-driving cars. And this time it was the tuk-tuk, which is all over Asia, a transport vehicle. And if you replace them by electric cars, this would be a great saving of energy, and pollution will go down, but you will ruin the business of all the rickshaw drivers or the tuk-tuk drivers, who will feed their families. So this team invented a very, very cheap do-it-yourself electrical vehicle, which is, well, expected to be not very much more expensive than a tuk-tuk in our days. And the tuk-tuk driver hasn't got to drive itself anymore, but it belongs to him and not a company. So he can make an effort, or she can make an effort, of having those self-driving car, and not bloody Musk or somebody else. So they invented a new business model. The car itself is not that spectacular. But to have those microcredit paid business plan at the back of it, I think this is really a good thing. This was a little project. Yes, of course, you can turn waste into taste, recycling. You all have heard about it. But this students' team comes back with the idea that the only way you really can save energy or food is to have big canteens. Not cook for yourself anymore. Even the trend is going there that probably no one of you is really a big cooker. So warming up a pizza is probably the most thing you do. Having a canteen could help. This was an idea about fashion. So imagine a world where not the fashion label is the most wanted thing in the world. What if your upcycler label is the most wanted thing in your world? And the clothes you borrow, swap, lend, whatever, is upcycled clothes. And the designers are not for the haute couture. The designers work for upcycling new ideas. And you don't have to your own wardrobe at home. Probably you don't live in a future, you don't have the space to have a wardrobe. Pick up your stuff at the corner. Pre-order it, redesigned, reorder it, and you have like Superman's telephone box where you can change. So, coral reefs. This is the last project, so hopefully. They ask, what if we would have so many coral reefs that the ships can't drive anymore? And they said, okay, we could use the coral reefs, we can live on them, we've got so many of them, we can harvest them. And this was a very, very shocking picture for all the divers we presented to them, because they learned, never touch a coral. No, we've got so many of them, we harvest them, because we need them for industrial products, like those coral-infused water, which is very healthy, and it has in its tap a filter made of corals. And from that point on, the student team went back and said, okay, what must happen that we got so many corals to produce such taps? And they come back with business plans for diving schools, for rangers, how to make profit out of corals. And if you don't make profit out of corals, the corals will disappear. Okay, so the end of it. Last point, presenting desirable futures. Make people talk about it. Get those points in mind, and then you were able to design them. Took a photo? Yes. I always love it when people took photos for the presentation. Flatter it again. Okay, but I think, thank you. That was it.